Hi, everyone. Welcome to How to Deepen Your Relationships. We're super happy to be here with you. We're having Hannah open for today's topic, which is self-love. So we've been on a journey together, and this is our next stop. Can't wait. Hannah, I'm going to just offer you to say a couple of words and start us off, okay?
Okay. Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here. I can't stay for long, but I just want to open this class with a blessing that um, the material of this class should maybe be able to hold it, maybe be able to process it, and maybe be able to live it. And may our evolving journey of becoming more whole, entering into our whole self, into our geula self, um, lead us into the ultimate geula. And may this class be wonderful and give you strength for Hanukkah. And it should be a light that's going into the festival of lights.
Amen. Thank you, Hannah. Okay. So in absence of Hannah's usual prayer gathering, we're going to open up that space all together now with the very first idea that's connected to self-love. One of the most important ideas, actually. You may have heard me say this before, but it goes like this. We're going to start with this spiritual idea. And that is, why did Hashem create us? God is perfect. God has no needs. God is everything. God has everything. Why in the world did he make human beings? And literally, what are we? So as I learned from the book Kabbalistic Writings on the Masculine and Feminine, Rivka says, to give to us. Exactly. That's exactly it. There's something really interesting about being human. In other words, what was his desire to give to? What species? What did he want from us? What is it that he wants to give to? And what he wants to give to is our imperfection. Hashem wants to give to our imperfection. So here is the analogy, the mashal. The mashal is to a guy who's got a really cool car. And every Sunday, he's like out there getting his hand, polishing his car, getting new hubcaps, making the stereo real loud, maybe painting some purple, touching up all the dents and the scratches. And he loves Sundays, because Sundays he's working on his car. This car is going to be the most awesome thing. It's his joy. It's his pleasure, right? And it's so his pleasure, except like one Sunday in March when he looks at the car and he's like, I can't touch it. The hubcaps are perfect. The stereo is what I always dreamed of. There's nothing more to do with the car. So it was the car's very imperfection that gave him delight. Now it's kind of just is. So the only piece that is not perfect is that it's not perfect. Another example, let's say you're making a piece of art and it's so much fun. I've had these nights, I don't know about you, like you can get into it and it's completely immersive. It's so immersive. And when it's done, it's like, it's made. The only lacking in this gorgeous piece of art is that you can't do more art to it. If you put the pencil down one more, Miriam Chaya knows she's got some gorgeous artwork. I don't draw, but I just like to play with color. No, you do anything else to it, it's over. So the attribute of imperfection is so delightful because it keeps you in relationship with your paper, with your art, the unfinishedness of it. Do you guys understand? So I just want to open up this class with a really big acknowledgement about humanity, about our state of imperfection. This is what Hashem made. This is his delight. It gives him a space to be in relationship with us. He doesn't need us to be perfect, and we're never going to be perfect. And that's not just words. Like, he actually created us to be human. To be human means to be excessively vulnerable, wildly powerful, yet unbelievably needy and vulnerable. Okay? So let's just sit together for a minute as we open our class with the tefillah. And this tefillah is not going to be from us to Hashem. This tefillah is going to be from Hashem to us. So just breathe with me and be ready to receive a gift. Hashem, I'm ready to receive a gift. My dear, precious children, I love you. I love everything about you. I just love you because I love you. Not because you are performing, not because you are amazing, not because you are getting it all right. I love you because I love you. And that means that I love all of you. And all of me wants all of you all the time, no matter what you show up like, no matter how you look, no matter what you've done. I never stop wanting you. You are my delight, my precious daughter, and you are so good. So, so good. Perfectly imperfect, just the way I like it. Love, your Father in heaven. So in today's topic of self-love, we take a deep dive into the battle, really, the battle against shame. We were born innocent, both in the Garden of Eden and in this world. And as we experience our humanity, our imperfection, we experience that we make mistakes, that we go off course, that we are led to dark places and dark thoughts and depressions or tempers or violations or shutdown or cold-heartedness or whatever it is, or just plain old pain. And along with the human experience that is brought towards us comes a klipa. A klipa is a husk. And the husk, the impure husk, is the husk of shame. So you have this life experience that's meant to draw you closer to yourself, closer to Hashem, to do your mission, to bring out your light. But there's a price to pay. The price is that this shame has like continued to cling to you as if not just here's something for you to fix, but you, me, this thing here is wrong, ugly, or dirty, unacceptable, literally unacceptable. Some of us live in this feeling all day long of just being gross. Some live in this feeling on occasion. Some bump into this feeling when it's like a social environment and all of a sudden you just feel like everyone is normal or okay or on some vibration except for me. It's all shame. For some people, it's just not being able to step out into the world, use their voice, stand tall. And sometimes it shows up in a feeling of competition, meaning I spend a lot of time looking at other people, like either wishing I was them or judging myself against them, etc. So I just see some things in the chat box. Give me a moment. And right away we have questions. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. This um, this class, this class that I'm about to deliver is literally above me. It's above my pay grade. I'm serious. It's above what I physically know. It's above the Svarim I've looked into. It's above the class that I gave about it 6 months ago, which I have a whole long 48-minute class. I'm like, no, that didn't do it. It's above the class that I gave yesterday about it. What we're doing today here in this space is not from me. It's above what I know. Do you understand? It's from Hashem. I've already had a good cry today about this. He like put me through a little shame cycle there so I could experience this myself. So I could teach something hopefully that has a little more truth to it. So I could not just teach from a paper. And what it taught me is that what I'm learning through this like difficulty of getting this class out, like I can't even look back at my notes because they just seem so irrelevant, is that self-love is it's the heartbeat. You know, any of you are like doctors or something, you're nurses, and the heart has two beats, right? It's got two rhythms. I don't know. That's the image that's coming to you. Right? Self-love, Hashem's love. Self-love, Hashem's love. Self-love, Hashem's love. It's the same mechanism. Receiving Hashem's love, receiving your own love. Feeling that Hashem likes you, feeling that you like you. It's all the same work. So what we're talking about today is so high because Hashem needs us to understand about self-love. He needs us to understand, I feel more than I understand. So we're just going to work it through together. I'm going to give you what I've learned. We're going to do some exercise and something beautiful is going to come. Okay? So yeah, Amy, loving ourselves is loving Hashem. And we're getting to the question of what does self-love look like in the face of shame. Okay? Why? We have questions right away. We're going to go to the questions and let them guide our conversation. Why does Hashem judge us for our humanness and imperfections? It says that Hashem's wrath is it for a second, just a second. He's always in Rachamim. A second is his wrath. What does this mean? I have a friend, by the way, this is good to know, that this second of wrath is during the daytime. So she gets up before dawn. So when she has her precious time with Hashem, it's like totally she knows she's in a time of pure love and rachamim. It's very special with Hashem. Just to know in case you too want to get up at 5 a.m. A second of wrath means I believe in you and hold you accountable. You are not a doll, a robot, a shmata. You are able to do things. Think about when someone asked you to do something and you felt really good that you could contribute or to help. When you are held accountable, when you are seen as able, this is a gift to you, a very high gift. And Hashem has endowed us with ableness to overcome our Yetzer Hara, ableness to give, etc. So if he would not judge us, he would be neglecting us. Not only that, but his judgment is much more akin to the redirect of a GPS. Thank you, Hashem, for GPS. It's much more akin to, I'm pointing out to you that you did something wrong so that you can correct it. He is not the, you're going to jail, you're bad. That's just not God. It's just not God. He is just, hey, redirect over here. You can do better, and I know something about you. I'm going to show you. The shame that accompanies it of like, I'm bad, Hashem is punishing me, he's seen everything I've done, I'm rotten, or why is he punishing me? Why does Hashem judge me so harshly? This is a distortion. It is us judging ourselves, not liking ourselves. It is not Hashem. If you don't believe me, you don't have to believe me. Just open up a sitter, okay? Every single morning, your faith in me is with tremendous mercy. And then it just continues later, ahava rabba ahavtanu, like with a great love, you've loved us. You know, when you love a kid, it's like whatever they do, you still love them. You'll correct them and you'll love them in the same breath. You'll believe in them and you'll push them while still accepting them as they are. Same breath. So this like stuff about Hashem being harsh is just not understanding the masculine essence, because masculinity itself has been distorted for power and for war and for might and disrespect of the feminine essence. I'm not saying all men are distorted. I'm saying masculinity has been like it's all been in an imbalance. So we've gotten to see Hashem in an imbalance. But if we really, really, really look, we see Hashem gives me this breath and this friend and that opportunity and these two eyes and that phone call and that email and food and all day long. He's just loving on me. That's who Hashem is. Like a father who provides, like a loving, tender father who provides, and sometimes comes and gives you a little scolding or a little telling you like, that wasn't okay. That was not okay. Okay. So why does Hashem judge us? Because he believes in us and because he's just trying to bring us closer to him. And the whole goal is to bring us closer to him. And once, I remember when I was early married, hopelessly insecure, also 17. And my husband is very like best friends with his sister. So we would get together and he would spend all his time talking to her because he was very happy. Like his new wife was at his side, but they were talking it out, They were reminiscing of old memories of the bungalow colony. And I would sit there and I'd be like literally I was out of high school. I'm like, you're leaving me out. I'm so left out. And I remember this one conversation where we were by his grandparents' house and I felt terrible. Like for 2 hours, I was holding myself, feeling worse and worse and worse and worse. And finally, I called him to the side and I was like, I feel so bad and blah, blah, blah. And this is a newly married thing. So I just remember like the whole family went to the bar mitzvah and we talked this out and and we walked out like little newlyweds who like had a thing, and we were closer, we were closer for the honesty, for the imperfectness of the connection. It's special. And that example that I just gave you, please let me remember it because it's very important for our shame work. Okay. One more question here. How can Hashem love me when I'm continuing to do bad things? I will tell you another husband story. Please pardon me for husband stories. Not everyone is married, and I don't mean to be insensitive. It's just where I live in my life right now. I'm giving classes, so my mind is on marriage a lot. But please just know it's just a relationship story, okay? So my husband is super organized and would like me to be so as well because things just run better that way. And he always begged me to make a list for shopping. Finally, we made a list, and what do you know? The store remodeled. And now all the lists by aisles gone. So I really never made another list. Like I just never did, and it would be so meaningful to him. So every week it takes a lot of patience for him because he makes challah, and if there's like 10 ingredients, if I forget one of them, he's bummed out. And why don't I just go through the aisles and make the list? Okay, I haven't because I'm human. So anyway, I've been upping my game because I'm working on marriage because I just think shalom bayis is super important topic for Geula and also for my husband. So I have been trying to be more on top of my game, make Shabbos on Thursday, etc. And guess what happened this week? I forgot the potatoes. Yes. So I looked up at him. I had tried so hard. I cleaned the house spick and span. I got everything ready Thursday night. Or he was just going to put up the challah on Shabbos. I put a little broccoli, no potatoes. And I look up at him and I felt oh shoot. And I just said are you mad at me? I forgot the potatoes. And he's like, no, it's okay. You tried. It was such a beautiful moment because in my past, I didn't try. In my past, I was like, I don't need a shopping list. Why are you telling me how to shop? I know how to shop, blah, 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 right? I do it my way. And then when I wouldn't have the potatoes, it would be quite annoying. You're not really in partnership with me, please, But when I just try, if I make a mistake, ta-da, I'm a human being. I really did try. And it was a beautiful moment. I was like, thanks for understanding that I'm trying. The end. Hashem knows your limits. He knows how he made you. He knows the experiences that he planted in you. He knows why you're drawn to that bad behavior. He knows. He understands what he wants is like, I want to be close to you. I want to make you happy. I want to be in partnership with you, Hashem. Okay, this one I haven't done yet. Gosh, I feel bad about it. It made me human. I'm not excusing it. Still need the potatoes, but it just is. And by the way, if you've ever been on a healing journey, you know that there are ingredients that we need that if we don't have it in one place, we have to get it in another place, even if it's not good for us, even if it looks bad. For example, this is a very benign example. Somebody has depression, they become overweight. Okay? This is a natural thing to happen. I cannot find my inner delight. I cannot find comfort within myself. Everything inside of me feels dark and black. Please, I need some form of delight in my light. I will eat chocolate. I will have something sweet, even though I know that when I'm done eating it, the delight will be gone and I feel gross again. Human beings are human beings. We need things. Sometimes those things are sinful, not good for us, and we have to do tshuva on them. But Hashem understands the fullness of this human experience. He understands we're just in a journey of relationship with him, and the work never ends. You're not ending today, whoever asked that question. You're not ending today. You're still in process. Also, another thing, Hashem leads us to dark places so that we can learn about them. We are each in a chain holding hands, and we need to be there for each other. If everyone was always in the light, where would the compassion be? We need to be Hashem's rachamim for one another. Hashem has so much mercy because he understands everything. Well, if I am Miss Perfect and I always have my shopping list and my potatoes, and I never ever struggled with that, am I going to understand why you would struggle? I wouldn't understand. I'd say, what's the matter with you? Get it together, make a list. It matters to your husband. The store's right there. You have a pen and paper. I'd just be tough, like, come on. But I'm not tough on you because I understand. Oh my gosh, I've done the same thing. No great person ever didn't make colossal mistakes. You have to have been there so you can have compassion. And that means all the things. Women who scream at their kids, you're not going to scream at your kids forever. You're always going to be working and doing tshuva and trying your way out of it and loving yourself more and loving them more. But one day you'll be a light of compassion, and only compassion heals. Only love heals. I'll never forget my dear mentor, Esther Weiner, her most best line to me. I was working through a trauma, and I said to her, Esther, I spoke Lashon Hara. I can't believe I regressed into my trauma of blaming the person, and I spoke Lashon Hara. I feel terrible. And she said to me on the phone, but I feel like she was looking at my face, and she said, oh, it's okay. Just means you need more healing. It's okay. Never forget that. I was ready to say, you should be done with this by now. Your heart should be cleared. You should be perfect. It's time to be perfect now. No. If there was such a wound in there that made you say something like awful, you need more healing. That doesn't mean I didn't do tshuva for the Lashon Hara. It doesn't mean I didn't say, I'm sorry, Hashem, I want to do better. But it's a process. Okay, we continue. Oh my gosh, 10 new messages. Beautiful, beautiful. Hashem wants to see how you're going to grow from these lessons in life. Like a teacher watches a student's success and a parent watches their child's grow. Yes. The redirection when we're going into the wrong direction feels like a big restriction in freedom to me, at least to part of me. Yes. Sometimes Hashem redirects us gently. Like we want to go somewhere and it doesn't work out, and we protest and we push it and we want it to work out. But Hashem will not let us fail. He won't let us truly, deeply, deeply, deeply hurt ourselves. That's just not love. Love is not neglect. And Hashem could see the bigger picture. So you don't let your child walk out into the street, right? This is an answer to Lydia's question about how when I'm redirected, I feel like I'm restricted by Hashem. It is painful. Redirects are sometimes very, very painful. But if you're ever stopped from something, know that it is Hashem's protection for you. Now, there are so many stories in the Torah about Hashem's punishment for people who do not follow his will. He seems very harsh. Yes, he does. I'm going to share two ideas with you. Why does Hashem seem so harsh in the Torah? And yeah, two ideas. These are just ideas we're developing together, okay? And then we're going to move from Hashem to us, because we've talked about Hashem a lot and it's not over, but this is really about our relationship with ourselves. So why is the Torah written in stories instead of in a list of rules, if the purpose is to keep the commandments? So I learned, which may be from Rav Dessler or maybe Rav Miller, that stories stick with us. So the idea is you learn the framework of the story when you're younger, it sticks with you, and then when you're older, you delve into the story, you learn the lessons, you deepen it. And a child's mind only knows black and white, good and bad, evil and, right? Good and evil, right? So the way the Torah is portrayed is for a child's mind, not only for a young child, but for the child mind in us. We develop spiritual maturity. So if you read, for example, a new manual for kalas, for new brides, they say things like, don't contradict your husband. Make sure to dress nicely every single day. You want to show respect and care. Put your husband first, like all these kind of like rules. You know, I remember reading one of those anyway. Like I said, I was 17, so I was reading, right? It's like rules for a marriage. Then you develop, there's maturity, and you're like, sometimes you do need to say, sweetheart, I think we need to do things differently. Is that called contradicting, or is that called relationship, partnership? Sometimes you need to learn your husband loves you even if you're not wearing makeup. Like, it's okay, right? There's an evolution of relationship. So with Hashem also, we do, but those things do safeguard the honor of this relationship. We do need to know on the child mind level that Hashem is in charge, that the things that we do matter, that we are accountable, and we make massive spiritual impact with every single action that we do. We are literally like the world, it says, like, imagine that the world depends on your next deed. It does. We are vibrating at such a high level, especially towards Geula, that one act literally tips the whole world. Every decision we make is like, it's forwarding the motion, etc. It's massive. This is true, and we need to know this. And the child mind needs to know, don't cause damage to yourself or the universe. There will be damage. But as we spiritually evolve as a people, coming closer to Geula, remember we were babies at the beginning, we're spiritually evolved. We understand the nuances that inside of there, it's just saying, you know, be faithful to Hashem, be faithful to this relationship, be in it all the way. It's not about harsh, it's just about protecting the relationship. In the book, The Moon's Lost Light, she talks about how 10 wisdoms came down to the world. They were meant to be used for holiness, and they were taken away by impurity. So one of them was messianic wisdom, which got stolen by the klipas, by the negative forces, into communism. This idea of like, let's all live together, let's all live as one. It was a nice idea, but it was stolen away in the wrong way. Feminism is another thing. Coming to the age of the honor of the woman is like one of the gifts towards redemption, but it was taken away. Guess what else was taken away? Psychology. Psychology, do you think like in the early 1800s they knew about psychology? They could have this discussion that we're having about Hashem? No. Just the same way Hashem only brought technology into the world now. He didn't bring psychology into the world until much later. In other words, it's part of our spiritual evolution to learn more about our heart and Hashem's heart, that it's not just reward, punishment. It's relationship, it's intention. Intention is everything. The subconscious is everything. What's beneath it is everything. Okay, I'm pausing here. Okay, now we're going ahead in a little bit deeper to the shame aspect. There are a few parts to shame. The first thing you need to know is that shame is the opposite vibration of love. Okay? Where there's shame, you don't feel love. You don't love yourself. You cannot receive love. You're embarrassed of yourself. You're embarrassed to be. Not worthy to receive. Not worthy to be seen as good. Not worthy to take up space. Sometimes even not worthy to eat, to get gentle care. And our friend Rachel over here has brought out something very, very beautiful. She's brought out the idea that the one to hold our hands and lead us out of the inner world of shame is the queen within us, the aspect called dignity. Dignity, yes. So try that word on your lips. It's a really beautiful word. Dignity means you are a godly creation full of innocence and purity. And your soul has never been touched by anything that has ever happened to you. Elokai neshama shenasata bi tehorahi. God, the soul that you planted within me, she is pure. It has never been touched. If you have been abused, your soul was never touched. If you have acted out, your soul was never touched. She, this queen, this soul is absolute purity. Deepening this awareness that the essential you is the queen, is the dignity, can help you to have someone to hold your hand to walk out of the shame. Your heart cannot always help you walk out of the shame. Your heart, it needs to heal with love. It does not heal through dignity. So that's a different topic. A topic number one is dignity, recognizing your beautiful, beautiful soul that has never been touched by anything you've ever done wrong or anything that's ever happened to you is the first piece. And we're going to do an exercise about that. The second piece is your heart. The heart is not lofty. It doesn't experience these godly truths. The heart lives here. It's flesh and blood. It says, I did wrong. I feel wrong. I am wrong. I wasn't able to do this. I feel bad. Somebody made fun of me. I do feel ashamed. Someone said I'm ugly or whatever. Like, I feel terrible. I feel gross. I feel gross in my body. I feel gross in whatever. I feel gross or unworthy. All of these types of things. And what the heart needs is to be seen in all her shameful glory. That's what the heart needs. The heart shame, it sits inside of us, and like the potatoes, it rots like a rotten potato. Any bad thought that you feel about yourself that is unspoken rots inside. Gross, horrible, awful, disgusting. That's why I think in the anonymous programs and 12-step programs, there's a step where you say all your misdeeds. How can you heal before you have released out this nauseousness about yourself? The inner experience is I'm awful, gross, or unworthy. I'm icky. I'm something, right? It has to be spoken out, ideally in the presence of someone who is safe and who will not shame you, who will receive you with compassion. Ironically, our dear friend RT, who wrote her question here, she has been that person for me so many times. I'll just tell her everything and she'll just be like, uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. She just listen. Just like hear all the shame, hear all the ways that I feel awful, all the ugly feelings. Human beings feel jealous, anger, pain, gossip, lito eles, for a purpose, for the purpose of releasing shame. Say it all. Don't keep it inside. In the shared space of humanity comes what I call like runny noses and laughter. Like, yeah, like it's so like we're human, we're messy, we have like stuff. It's so adorable. It's so precious between us. And the heart healing happens with another person. That heart healing, it does not happen with Hashem. He needs us to be safe for one another, to love ourselves enough that we can love another, to be okay with our mistakes enough and be honest about our mistakes enough that we could be with another person's mistakes and not judge them. And just be that person that just says, uh-huh, I totally know. I hear you. I got you. Oh my gosh, that was awful. It must have felt so bad. Oh no, did that really happen to you? Ah, you know, just like be with them. Like, whoa, we're humans. This is hard stuff. Like you struggle with that? Oh my gosh. Ow. Ooh. How embarrassing. I'm so sorry you're embarrassed. Like, oh gosh. Just like hold the shame with compassion. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Wash it away until you could sit like two little children in the sandbox in your innocence. You know, you don't shame a child for having a dirty diaper. They're doing what they do. You don't love them less. You sit with another person. This is how we train our coaches, thank God. Because I've heard, unfortunately, of therapists that, you know, they haven't resolved their own shame. So there's like places that they don't let their clients go. Certain level of neediness, certain level of grossness, certain level of stuckness. Like you're not allowed to go there. Time to heal. Really? Really? Because Hashem's in charge of the timeline. And maybe just a little more compassion and we'll heal. So we try to train our coaches to just be with, you know, be honest with yourself about what it is in here. And then you can hold that space for another person. I believe Hashem wants us to do that for each other, not that everyone walks around in shame. I say like the early advent of shame was the credit card because suddenly everyone could afford everything. So then it's like shameful to not have something. In the old days, the rich people, poor people, you know who's who, what's what. Now it's like the hiddenness, just show up with the same wedding, the same clothing, the same shaitel because it's on a credit card because really you can't afford it. Maybe you can, I don't know. Okay, so I want to answer our friend RT over here also, who says, I can easily love others no matter what they do. Yes, you do that. Thank you, RT. But I can't understand how Hashem can love me while I'm still doing these things. Well, all I can tell you, RT, is that I love you. I don't care what you do. I just love you. And I'm not Hashem, but I'm me. I just got to say that in front of the whole world. I love you. You're awesome. What's not to love? That's that. Okay. Rachel, I see that you are on here. Did you want to lead this exercise? You had a question about that. You can't lead the exercise. Okay, then I'll do that. No problem. Let me just see if there's another message going down. Okay. Yeah. Okay, before we go into this exercise, we are going to say the following. 1 minute, please. Hashem wants us to receive his love. That's geuladik. What do you think it is? Makabel pnei Mashiach. I mean, it's to receive the face of Mashiach is to receive Hashem's love. It's all the same. Gilui Shechina, the revelation of the Shechina. He wants us to like relax and just let him hold us. So therefore, I believe it is his desire that we do this work of self-love, that we let ourselves relax into our own humanity. We're not going to be perfect, but we can be beautiful, beautifully imperfect. And when I meet you one day, I'm going to like say like, oh, you're so beautiful. And we're both imperfect. How lovely is that? That's what it is. We're on the journey. And Esty says, I thought those negative voices are the Yetzer Hara talking. I think that's very well said. Yep. Okay, let's go to our exercise. just a moment and I will pull up my screen. And also, I would really like to say this one other idea. I don't want to lose, there's some really important ideas, but I don't want to lose ideas in the favor of time. Okay. Please give me just a moment because I'm just seeing it's a pretty long exercise. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. I don't know why it's coming up funny, but it's okay. I'm going to share my screen for this. Can you hear a little bit of music? Yeah? Oh, when it works, it's so nice. Gosh. Okay. So we're going to just breathe to start out with. Get centered, get present. You've been listening for a while. Your thoughts are running all over the place. So just exhale. I'm exhaling with you. And get settled into your seat. Really feel like your seat supporting you. Your shoulders relaxing. And like I said, this topic it's a life of work. It's not a class of work, it's a life of work. So we're going to ask Hashem for extra siyata dishmaya. And in this moment, I want you to become aware that there is a part of you that we call your strongest self. Some people call her the inner wise woman. Some call her, it's your healed parts. Parts of you that show up in life really, really nicely. Okay, so think about those parts. You can even see yourself where you are, on a stage, in the kitchen, in your bedroom, talking to someone, whatever it is. Really call to mind the healed parts of you. And it's very important that we invite these strong and enabling positive parts to journey with us, because we're going to go to a place where it's dark. You always want to hold the hand of someone. Yeah? We want to bring the light in with us. And what we're going to do together is we're going to go through a shame cycle. Going into the shame and coming out of the shame. It's like a practice. So I'm going to invite you to think of a time or a place or an event or a memory where you felt bad, but not just regular bad, like maybe dirty, maybe unwanted, maybe ugly or dehumanized. Not so easy, this work, so if you're not in the mood for it, just listen to the sound of my voice or go make a cup of coffee. But if you want to do the work, then let yourself go there. Just be in it. We're going to call that place Shameville. Shameville is a really, really tough place. It's a place where we feel alone, exposed, broken. Any one of these: foolish, disgusting, irreparable, violated, unwanted, unneeded, or devalued. It can even be a very subtle time, a subtle experience. We may not even be able to bring to mind a full picture or even the words to describe how we came to find ourselves in the shame. Maybe it just washed over us. That could happen also. However, in this place, we brought with us a light in our strongest self. We brought our inner hero. So therefore, in this moment, we don't have to hide from how awful it felt or even feels. You're safe to see it, to even sit in it for a moment, because you have a light you can get out of it. And as we allow the feelings to wash over us and through us and swirl around us, and we also hold tight to our inner light, we find the courage to write on our papers in front of us, I have shame in blank, or I have shame with blank. It can be a word or a sentence or a picture or a symbol. We're just taking this rotten place, this feeling, this awfulness, and we're bringing it out. Okay? So we're just going to keep quiet for another minute while you write that down and anything else that's coming to you. And now, if you've done that writing, you get to celebrate. You know why? Because you did it. You did it. Maybe for the first time ever, maybe not. But you have given your shame a space and a voice so it can come out of there. Get a little bit of air. Just see it on a paper. This is my shame. This is what it feels like inside of me. Do you know how courageous that is? To take it out of you. Even just that little bit. When all we might want to do is run away from that pain because it can be so intense and overwhelming, but you took it out. You put it on paper. You even let yourself think it. So sit with that. Sit with that. It may feel liberating, like, yeah, I have shame about this. Or it may feel painful, like, oh my gosh, this is just the beginning of this shame. There's endless, seemingly endless amounts. May even be confused. Like, what now do I do? Just let it all come up. Whatever wants to come up now. These are your emotions, and they're yours, and they're real. It really is remarkable. The process of healing is taking back our innocence. Separating that klipa, that shame from who we are. And now, look at that wise woman. Remember that light that you brought with you, that beautiful strength, those healed parts. And see those healed parts as a new entity. Try. It's not going to be easy for everyone, but try to see her as the queen. She is the queen inside of you. She's been there all along, and yet now she's become visible. When we bring the shame out, the queen arises. She stands in her regalness with her tall spine. She stands in her dignity. And as we observe her, we notice that she has moved right outside the border of Shameville. Right outside the border of that experience. As if that experience of shame is becoming more and more narrow, isolated, instead of all over you. She has a domain called self-love. Her domain washes over the shame and heals it. She stays in self-love. She doesn't go to the shame. And she reaches into the shame to caress it. I see you. I know how hard it's been to carry this idea about yourself for so long. You feel her tender eyes looking at you with so much compassion. Poor thing, you had to feel like you were wrong, were unwanted. I'm so sorry. Take my hand. You are so special, so regal. Feel her compassion. And feel her invitation to the place of self-love. It's a new place. You may never have been there before, but there exists such a place. You may have given this type of love to others. You may have given it to your children or to your friends. A place where all of you is welcome. All of you, the whole of it, all the parts, the quirky parts, the funny parts, the ugly parts, the messy parts, the controlling parts, the lonely parts, even the shameful parts. Even your shame can get kisses and hugs in the land of self-love. You sweet thing, you feel your shame, you sweet thing. Take a little tour about this land. What would it be like to live here? To live in a space in your mind where every part of you is beloved. And even as you feel the tentacles of the Yetzirah shame wanting to pull you back into Shameville, you can say, no, sweetheart, I don't want to go to Shameville. I'll invite the shame to me, to my lens of self-love. It's welcome here. It's part of my innocence. It's okay. Every part of me is helping me to grow. Every part of me is from Hashem. This is the gift of self-intimacy. Not looking at what others think about you or how you may appear, but actually being with yourself. It's like a mirror. It's like the Queen handed you a mirror and said, really, really look at yourself and see your own beauty. The beauty even in what you feel is ugly. How beautiful is that? That magnificent, glorious, kind face. Look at those eyes you have. Look at your own eyes staring back at you. What wonderful eyes. You can take this mirror with you. Use it whenever you want. The mirror given to you by the Queen, ushering you back to the land of self-love where all of you is okay. It's just right. It's a work in progress, and that's how it's meant to be. That's its beauty. You can stand in dignity, softness. You've got nothing to hide. Don't hide from yourself. It's all good. It all fits. The more we sit in the truth of who we are, the more comfortable we are. The more comfortable we are to be with other people, the more safe other people are to be with us. We become regal and compassionate. You did beautiful work just now. So take a minute, stretch, shake it out. Say thank you to yourself for being willing to go to a difficult place and to a beautiful place. And feel that Hashem himself is asking you, please don't feel badly about yourself. Then you can't possibly know how much I love you. I know it's human to feel badly about yourself, but please see that as the forces, the Yetzirah that wants to steal you away from me. And I just really want to be with you. The tshuva, is just to come back to Hashem, to receive his love. That's the whole tshuva. Let yourself be loved as you are, with nothing to prove. You've done good and you'll continue to try your best. So we're going to end now. That exercise was written out for the most part by Rachel Wormeli. And that's a testimony to her own inner work. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everyone. And we're going to end right now with some Tehillim. I'm looking at the chat box and receiving your thank yous, and I thank you back for being with me. And I'm getting some messages that say that this was incredibly hard. Yes, it's incredibly hard, and especially if you're not used to it, it is. It's a beautiful beginning. It's a beautiful beginning, and it's very important that if this was triggering to you, that you do some immediate nurturing after this call. Okay? What I'm going to do for you is I'm going to sit here after this Tehillim and I'm going to play some songs so we can sit and breathe together. Some beautiful songs just to breathe with you in case you're feeling very raw. Okay? In the meantime, I bless us all, and and I invite you all, if you're not on my email list, could you put your email over here so I can send you an invitation to a class that we're going to do in honor of Hanukkah called Finding Your Inner Light. And it's going to be on Sunday morning. That also is going to open up our registration for our school that you're all invited to with this special Hanukkah sale. It's a 40% off sale. We figure everyone could give each other Hanukkah gifts. And that way you won't just taste the journey, you'll be like in it for real with a whole bunch of sisters, and it's very powerful and beautiful. Actually, that's where Rachel got her training. Oh, and Amanda's in our school, and Julia, a whole bunch of people who are here. So you're all invited. You are ripe for this work, and you are ripe to help other women on this work. So we'll start with coach training, and next time when we meet, which should be on Wednesday, we'll be right in the middle of our registration sale. So I'm going to take that opportunity. Not today. Today we're in this space. On that day, I'm going to take the opportunity to tell you a little bit more details about the school so you know why you want to sign up. Alrighty? Okay. Rachel, Tehillim, please.
All right. So unfortunately, I don't have the English, and so I apologize for that.
Yes, and Rivka asked if we could have her father in mind, Yosef Elimelech Ben Hinda. Yes.
Yes. If anybody does want to follow, I'm going to be doing Kuf Chaf Aleph and then Kuf. So number 121 and then number 100. שיר למעלות, אשא עיניי אל ההרים, מאין יבוא עזרי. עזרי מעם אדוני, עושה שמיים וארץ. אל ייתן למות רגליך, אל ינום שומרך. הנה לא ינום ולא יישן, שומר ישראל. אדוני שומרך, אדוני צילך, על יד ימינך. יומם השמש לא יככה, וירח בלילה. אדוני ישמורך מכל רע, ישמור את נפשך. אדוני ישמור צאתך ובואך, מעתה ועד עולם. מזמור לסודה, הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ. עבדו את אדוני בשמחה, בואו לפניו ברננה. דעו כי אדוני הוא אלוהים, הוא עשנו ולא אנחנו, עמו וצאן מרעיסו. בואו שעריו בסודה, חצרותיו בתהילה. הודו לו ברכו שמו, כי טוב אדוני לעולם חסדו, ועד דור ודור אמונתו.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I love this class so much. I love you so much. And we're going to hang out with a little bit of music and just breathing it out. And I wish us all so many brachos on our journey to self-love. I'm going to stop the recording, however.